What is up, guys? Transition Bricks here. Hope you're all having an amazing day. Today, I of course have a pretty cool video for you. I'm going to be showing you how I modified my AAT set. Yeah, this is the 2020 Separatist AAT. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it stands for Armor Assault Tank, of course, and it needed a lot of mods when I first came out, and I've always been excited, and I love the Separatists, as you guys might know. And I love this tank. It's one of my favorite vehicle designs from Star Wars. But anyway, it did need a lot of modifications, and as you might be able to tell, I have done quite a few here, and I'm going to point all of them out. So yeah, it's going to be kind of a long video, so I'm going to try to go as fast as I can. I've always wanted a LEGO AAT. I have had the old tan Naboo ones, the Trade Federation ones, but it just looks so much cooler in blue and the Separatist colors and everything, and I've never had the old one. But so now I have the new one, which is actually a very nice set, and I'll talk about that later, but of course it needed some modifications, so we got to get right into this. So yeah, like I was saying, this is a really nice set. I like a lot of stuff about it. It was a little overpriced, but the figures were good, and I don't feel too cheated. It just needed a few mods, or actually quite a few mods, I think. But anyway, let's get into it. So the first mods are kind of small stuff that you might not notice as first. We're not going to be focusing on the cannons yet, but you know these side actuators that used to have the you know, you see I covered them up because they used to stand straight up or back if you didn't have the spring loadeds in there. And this feature was built in really nice. Props to the designer for this. It was a really nice feature, and it's great for playability. But if you want to display it, like here, I'll demonstrate real fast. I mean, you might know how these work, but basically it works. It's really smooth, and how those put in there works really nice and simply, and it was really easy to build. But yeah, if you don't like that and you don't like the red bolts in there, and then if you just leave it here, it used to have a 1x1 here, but I put a 1x2 here plate and light gray, and I think that looks really nice. It covers it up, and then you yeah, it just looks really nice, and it looks more accurate, I think. And yeah, that's just nice if you don't want the playability and you just want to display it or put this thing in a mock, which is probably what I'm gonna do. So yeah, that's really cool. And then the second mod was pretty simple. You can see up here that this dish, everyone knows that this hatch is supposed to be a lot higher up. I didn't put it that much higher up, but as you can see, I did make it a little higher up, because it used to have this a 2x2 jumper, sorry, and yeah, I used to have it straight in the middle there, but I upgraded it up a little with just a tile and a, you know, what do you call it, just a 1x2 jumper, and yeah, now it's just up about a half a stud actually, and yeah, it doesn't look that much better, but it does look a little better, and it kind of shows off where that stripe could be. I didn't add the stripe, but maybe in the future. But yeah, that's a pretty nice mod, I think. It just adds a little more accuracy to it. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. Okay, let's move on to the cannons. Everyone knows that the cannons on this thing were pretty whack. The set, I don't know why it was designed like that. That's one thing I didn't really like about it. But of course, I've changed it up. It used to have these two bars on the side. Like, it was so long, and it was also flipped upside down. So as you guys see, I made the longer cannon on top and the cannon at the base. And then of course I use shorter bars. I use 4-length bars, and then I just put a lightsaber piece, and I pulled the whole thing off, as you can see. But yeah, basically I did all that, and I'll just reattach it here. And I think these side cannons look so much better with this shortened length and the little tiny smaller details on them. And yeah, it just looks really nice, and also of course the flips right up in the perfect way. And yeah, it's even more maneuverable because it's smaller. Yeah, these just look super nice. These like anti-personnel cannons, I really like that. And yeah, that's a pretty important thing I did to it. Next up is the main cannon. Of course I shortened the main cannon. I'm pretty sure everyone is. It was quite long. I mean, this thing has a long cannon, but not that long. But anyway, it's really cool. It still elevates up and everything. But one thing I was really disappointed with when I got this thing is it didn't elevate down. I was like, oh, how am I going to aim at stuff down like clone troopers on the ground? And then I decided to fix it. It took me a while, but I finally figured it out. And let me just demonstrate here in just a second. If I turn it around, and yeah, the cannon was really nice. As you can see, I added just a few pieces. But now let me demonstrate. There. Yeah, it aims down now. And yeah, I use a ball joint to do that, and that's really cool. I just like it so much. It has so much more posability with the cannon now. Like, you can go all the way down as like reenacting some different scenes from many different seasons of the Clone Wars. Like, now this thing can aim. It can even go side to side a little. Yeah, it's really awesome, and it fits in that one little area really nice. And I use a ball joint, and yeah, I'm gonna need to show you. But yeah, you can aim at something right in front of you now without having to like aim the whole tank and tilt it forward and everything. But yeah, as you can see, this is how I did it. I might do a video in the future showing exactly how to do it, but it's pretty simple. Just use, a ball joint and like a ball adapter, and I use some inverted slopes to or curves to hold it in place really nice and snug in that one little area, and doesn't really bother anything else. You just make sure it's all snapped together. Oh, and yeah, you can get it back in there kind of, but I smashed the whole thing apart, as you can see. But anyway, let's move on. There's just a few more modifications that I did to this thing that I need to show y'all now. And yeah, it's mostly with the sides and the back, so I'm going to turn this thing around a little bit, just, showing off more of the posability of the cannon, of course. It was really cool. Anyway, you might have noticed earlier when I was showing off the anti-personnel cannons on the side that I popped it off, like, really easily. And I'm trying to get some good light in there, sorry guys, but yeah, basically I made the side cannons and that whole kind of build just up higher. And here, yeah, you can see on both sides that it's a lot higher than it used to be. It's not that actually much, it's only about half a stud or so. And I did that, of course, using some jumpers, which means it's not as connected and strong as it used to be, but it's not super bad. I could actually probably make it better, but yeah. So basically I use a whole bunch of tiles and jumpers, and if you're really curious about that, again, I can make a video in the future, but it just attaches in there really easily with the 3 studs. And yeah, now it's a half stud set up higher, which just makes the cannons look better because the side cannons were also low with all the other problems that they had. And yeah, it just looks so much nicer, I think. And it like fits up with that top curved area a lot better. It just like all lines up nicely. Yeah, I was really proud of how I figured out how to do that, and it makes these like side pipe things like look higher, the technical detailings and everything. And you also might notice these plates on the side. There's a little more blue back here, and because it didn't used to have all this stuff back here, actually, it was just like a flat right angle back here, and I made a slope down here, and yeah, now it's not a right angle. And there's also this little textured piece because there's a little empty hole right there too. I mean, it made it light and made it, costless, but it definitely needs some fill back here. And yeah, I basically did that, and yeah, I didn't really do much on top of the turret. It looks the same, and yeah, that's basically all the mods I did to this thing. It looks like super awesome now, I think. I hope you guys enjoy this and use some of my mods. Let's go into the outro. Well, yeah, that's basically it, guys. I hope you enjoyed all these mods, and feel free to use any of them. And remember, just make it your own. You can do your own mods too. It's just really awesome. Just make the AAT your own. I really love the Separatists, so this was an awesome set for me, and this is one of my favorites. Still need to get my 501st Battle Pack, but I'm sure I'll get that as soon as possible. And yeah, I would encourage getting your own mods. I used as much reference of photos of the AAT as I could for this, because I wanted to get it as accurate as I can. And there's still some mods I can do to get this thing much accurate. A lot of people modified the turret. I didn't think it needed to be modified. I thought it looked okay-ish. And yeah, anyway. But yeah, tell me what you guys think in the comments, and I hope you guys have a really awesome day.